morning.
Action. Welcome to Morning Minutes with myself, Michael Bergio, and Mark Novak. And today we're going to be talking about probably the hidden pain, the invisible burning man. And what we're referring to is your local business, your local shop owner, your local professional service provider. We do a lot of commercial property. We're in the locals here, and basically you have the bushfires, which are so visible, that type of pain. But then we're just talking about the local store owner. They're burning, they're in pain, but it's behind closed doors. It's not very visible. I'm hearing out there, Mark, 30, 40, 60% down in volume and trade. And when just like a lot of people live week to week, a lot of businesses are week to week as well. And if you imagine your income dropping 60% in a week, it's going to be tough, especially when all your bills are still due. If you look at it, if most businesses' overheads, regardless of revenue, are very similar, especially with food, because you're always forecasting the month in advance. And if you have a month that hits its ass, you've still got that month worth of stock, but no income. You may adjust the following month, but you're already behind. G'day, Coach. G'day, Luke. How are you? Andrew. So today, what are we talking about, tipping, Mark? Run us through what your thoughts are, how everyone can help, or just the mindset to bringing it to people's minds about that small business.
Look, I think there's a bit of stuff been going on at the moment saying the supermarkets are very un-Australian, and the way people are acting over toilet paper and police having to man toilet paper. And I think it's an example of, you sort of think to yourself, okay, well, that's very bad, and what's very good, and what can we do as a community? And particularly being real estate agents, we look at our local businesses around the area, the commercial premises. We look at people buying and selling property. I think that people have sort of got to keep their activities consistent, and rather than cancelling the electrician that was going to come to your house to fix your light, who was booked in 3 weeks ago, you stick with that appointment, and you get that work done by the electrician on your home. Because I think once everyone starts recessing into a hole, it actually makes life hard for even more people. Do you know what I mean? So what we were talking about this morning, guys, was like, going to get a haircut. If these guys can't survive, these barbers, for instance, there's going to be no bloody haircuts, and they're going to go out of business, and they potentially won't come back. So, because they're schooled by the whole process and they can't afford to. So, I was saying to Michael this morning on another conversation, I'm going to go for a haircut, and I'm going to give my barber a bit more of a tip than I wouldn't normally give it a tip or a large tip, but I will today, because I know his work is probably down 20 or 40%. So if I can give him a tip like that, that helps a guy like that stay in business. And I think that's what we really should be doing.
100%. Thanks for sharing this, Luke. I think it's a super important message we're getting out there. Like, don't get us wrong. I think if we don't handle this right, the virus won't kill us. The no activity, the economy is going to kill us. And then there'll be chain reactions, mental health, all this that will go along having no business, because you've worked for a lot of businesses out there, may have just started or been many years, and it's not the virus that takes them down. Well, it is the virus, but it's not the virus. It's not the illness from the virus, but it's the chain reaction from not people coming. So, of course, take precautions, get that sparky in, don't cancel jobs, but you can be cautious, listen to the health guides and follow them, but still get the work done. If not, get more work done if you can, because a lot of people are spending their money they've got to spend all on toilet paper, but then they stop spending it everywhere else. But the wheel needs to keep turning, because I strongly believe, Luke, unless the government step in and the banks, rent's still due, mortgages still due. So while that's happening and they need revenue to pay both of them, if revenue's cut in half and the bills are still need to be paid, it's going to have problems. But we can't rely on the government doing something, because reality is, by the time they step in for your average small business, it's going to be too late, because they're week to week.
And look, everyone's saying the government, the police, the government, the police, but it's like a family. If the government police are mum and dad, right, the kids still have to be good kids. The kids still have to behave. So yes. I think as a community, as people, we've still got to actually still, do the right thing and not play up and think smart. And, you get the electrician in, you get him to do the work, and you say, mate, all I want you to do is go into that bathroom, fix that light that I want you to fix. When he goes, wipe the place down. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying compromise your health and in order for commerce to and business to keep going. Not saying that at all, but saying that there are hacks around it where you're not compromising your health, but you're still doing your thing for your community. And with the fire stuff that was going on, everyone was wonderful at supporting the bush-stricken places, and I think everyone's got to be equal as wonderful now. But we've got to really think about it. It's not just donating cash.
Yeah. Oh, Luke's made a good. Luke, I was wondering, because I've tried to sort of stay a lot out of the media, because I think if we're staying on Facebook and trying to become experts on the virus, it's going to take away from our work. And I haven't. But Luke's just said, Mark, UK are paying 3 months of mortgages, which is great, because then that takes the pressure off the renter in that property. That's really good to know, because then obviously I assume we will follow, and hopefully we do, because and what we're saying there, like normally a lot of Australians like to negotiate when they get work done, but just keep in mind these businesses are getting 40% less. Instead of using it as a time to bloody squeeze them, like, do you want the job or not? If not, pay the ask, and if you can tip, pay a little extra.
If you can afford to help, just help. Everyone should help a little bit. Like I know there's local restaurants that aren't doing business that we love, and put an order in through Uber Eats through that business, or ask them if you can just run in and collect, food and take it and run, stuff like that.
Yeah. So the message is support your locals, continue to get work done. Yes, take your health precautions that you may not have done 6 months ago, but still keep it active, because people are struggling. It's not visible. Like, it's not like your shop owner who's got half his income, who's potentially worried about putting food on his table. He's got no voice. He's got no voice. And you drive past it one day, it's open. You drive past the next day, they're shut down. You go, wow, what happened? I loved that place. And then you think this, and then it's like, well, you didn't go there for 2 months.
Yeah. And what about rents? I think rents are interesting in our business. Like the biggest thing that we get asked every day, the last 2 days, 3 days, everyone that rings us goes, what's happening over there? Are you still doing deals? Are the prices okay? Like, everyone is turning to their real estate agent who's concerned about their real estate. And they're all asking the one question is, what are you seeing? What are you doing? What are you seeing? And even with rents, like we're seeing, we're starting to get tenants saying, look, we've been affected by Corona. What are we doing on our rents? And I think until there's an official mandate from government on how to handle this situation, we can't be making calls. And landlords have mortgages to pay, tenants have rents to pay. Our position is that basically business as usual, until we're told otherwise by our friends in government on how and industry heads on how to handle that. But at the moment, it's there's certainly not a problem with arrears. There's not a problem with mortgage repayments with landlords on the coalface.
Yeah, lots of comments. I think I know this is a topic close to everyone's heart. So bushfire, I'm just reading something out. Luke, bushfire community support will start to be seen with coronavirus. Panic is always start the people's bond. People love people. Michael, coach, hit the nail on the head this morning, gents. Let's hope the word spreads far and wide. Yes, and you can help by sharing this as well. So, guys, it's feel free to hit the share button, like it, post it.
Tip a local.
Yes, small business owners start investigating and assistance may be available. Your brokers, banks account. That's a good one as well. Like, speak with your business manager, your bank. You may be able to, I don't know, get a redraw facility. You may be able to. I remember one thing Mark Conway, our broker, said. He said a lot of people put their head in the sand when times are tough and they don't communicate with their bank. They don't communicate with their landlord, more their bank we're sort of referring to here, and just say, what can you offer? I don't know if they can offer anything, but I remember he said, speak to the bank. They do have some sort of concessions over a period if you're hardship, I think it is. So instead of putting your head in the stand and just getting these sort of late notices, termination, put your hand up with your provider and just say, what can they offer? Because we can't rely on the government stepping in, because by then for a lot of businesses, they won't be there. So I think that's a good one there. He's great advice. Get ready, get prepared. Correct. Wait for the government to advise on mortgages and rent. Same as us for investors. Tip a local. That should be the hashtag, Luke. Hashtag tip a local.
Hashtag tip a local. But, with mortgages, I think it's a good idea to put a call in and just say, hey, can I add another year on top of my mortgage and pause this year? Or, something like that, where there's actually a queue at Discount Warehouse, at Chemist Warehouse. What are people queuing there for? But yeah, I think talking to the banks are actually pretty cool. They're still going to make just as much money if you pause your mortgage. So if you pause your mortgage for 3 months or 6 months, they're still going to make as much, because you're still going to pay it back and with interest, even more interest. But probably a good conversation to have, particularly if you're being affected at the moment. And like you said, don't bury your head in the sand. Do it sooner than later.
Yep. Okay. Anything else you want to add on this morning, Mark?
Tip a local. Businesses that we're seeing that are being affected, that are not being reported.
Yes.
Very important one. Eyelashes. Yeah, the local eyelash lady just closed shop until further notice. Can't get eyelashes done. I get my eyelashes done.
Yeah.
But no, on a serious note, that is a business that has been affected because it's contact. It's a contact business.
That's exactly like any business. There's so many out there that are heavy. I even look at myself with physios and chiropractors and things like that. There's a lot we do that's heavy contact. Gyms, and I think what sparked this was I read a post, basically, don't pause your membership, don't hold your gym membership now, because if you do it now, they won't be there. Like, a lot of business owners are the same as a lot of people. It's not like you open a business and you're rich and you're wealthy. A lot of it is still week to week, month to month, offering a service. But unlike an employee who will still continue to get paid if there's no revenue, because it's a business owner's obligation, like the business doesn't have that revenue. So still go there, just take extra precaution, especially guys, when the virus, if you're not old and overweight, it's just like the normal flu, which most of us are fine with. So like, the reality is it's okay to still, it's sort of okay. Obviously be mindful of you spreading it, but I wouldn't be going all paranoia mode, especially if you've got a young, healthy physio and you're young and healthy. You two are not at risk. So don't just stop having those interactions. Yeah,
and
I saw that week shut down for jiu-jitsu. One of the gyms, they've done 2 weeks closure, but they've reduced the rate by 50%, what the members have to pay while it's closed, but then they will continue while it's open. So if it's closed for 2 weeks, then they'll do it open for 2 weeks. It'll be 50% for 4 weeks. So the members aren't losing in the long run. They're getting the same, but you still got that cash flow because, guys, the gym still has to pay their rent.
But, I think people got to hunker down a little bit, and even if we, I guess we're speaking about we're super local. We're not a CBD area where we are. We're northern beaches of Sydney. We're super local, and I think super local. We've got the ability to support each other, but I think we've got to understand that not to spook each other out, because the more we spook each other out, it's often going to be counterproductive than productive. I get the productive part of hygiene and small groups and that, but people have got to get there's a counterproductive part that's just going to kill off great businesses. So in order to promote it, we're just saying, like, tip your local, the guys that you love, give them more work, or give them a little bit of a tip on top that you normally give them, because you love them.
This is true. Alrighty, guys. Anything else you want to add on to that, Mark? I think it's a great message. Please share it, like it, share it to the community. I think people need to, everyone's focused on the virus, but let's not forget the people out there that run it, basically stimulate our country. Small business is what it's all about. It is a lot, that sort of Australian vision, open up your own business. So
there's 6 million businesses out there, half of which get paid half of the minimum wage in Australia. So there's 6 million businesses in Australia. Half of those businesses make 50% of the minimum wage.
If the minimum wage is 80 grand, they make 40, or half of them make up with the people who are on minimum wage?
The first part. So if a minimum wage in Australia is 55K, these guys are running their small business on 25, 30K.
Yeah, so guys, you can't be not going there. So morning, Lisa. Joining us. This is a great
the lovely Lisa. I was talking about her eyelashes this morning. She was, but everything's going to be okay, Lisa Novak.
Yeah.
But
Lisa, are you sure you want Lisa to be watching this one? Spend.
But in all seriousness, that businesses like that support our community, and when those businesses are not around, everything changes. Do you know what I mean? So that's just one example. To give you an example, you would just never think that there's someone like that having to pay their mortgage. They've got kids depending on the business. They've got mortgages depending on the business, and it's damning. It's damning that they're having to close. So just everyone should have a really long, hard think about industries and businesses that they can support. Because if you retract your money out of that industry or that business, you're going to send them crashing. What are you laughing at?
Lisa, I've been spending for a long time in preparation. Good on you. You're doing your part. Well done.
Yeah, she does. She definitely does. Support a local, tip a local. Have a great day. Hopefully we helped some business members around our community with this advice. If people can share this advice, it would be great. That's our takeouts from today.
Beautiful. Thanks, everyone.
See everybody.